All right, the truth is everyone is on a budget these days, and that's really apparent when we do our food shopping. How do we eat healthy, maintain our budget, and just stay on track? Well, if you want to know a little bit more about that, stay tuned, because that's what we're talking about today. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI. So my guest today is the one and only Vinny Smith from Braven. How are you today, Vinny?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Well, you are the one and only, so it's always a pleasure to see you, even in a little square on Zoom.
You don't want too many of me. That would cause a lot of confusion.
Well, one person, one square. One person, one square. So I feel like we have a good topic today because, listen, everyone's on a budget these days, and food prices are pretty much crazy, no matter where you shop. And I like this idea of sharing some ideas about how to still eat healthy but maintain your budget. So what do you want to say first?
The first thing I want to say is that you can still eat healthy and maintain a budget. But there's ways of doing that, and I'm going to talk about some tricks about the psychology that the food stores use, and I'm going to talk about the good food that we should be eating. And there's a whole lot of things that go on, how you shop, when you shop, and maybe even who you shop with.
Oh, that is interesting. I'm envisioning that. All right, well, let's start with what are the things that we should be eating?
Well, you have to eat protein as your best, food to take in. You want to limit your carbohydrates and fats, especially the fats. You want to make sure you have a balanced meal and a meal that's going to be filling, but also tasty. So the whole idea is that when you want to eat healthy, you got to work with your proteins first.
Okay.
Our proteins are fish and lean meat, things along those lines, and try to get away from not doing meat 7 days a week. A lot of people do that. Salads are really, really good. And that's a roughage. It's what you put in the salad. Now, lettuce gives you nothing. Okay, you're better off doing something along the lines like spinach and those type of leafy greens rather than lettuce. Lettuce is just water. Okay. But so you use the other type of things that you want to put in it that you like the taste of, okay, and then you add some ingredients to it. Take a hard-boiled egg and slice it up, place that in there. They have different type of fruits that you can put into a salad that goes along with it. Don't be afraid to put some crushed nuts in there. And the best one to use for dressing is balsamic vinegar, especially if you're diabetic, because that will keep your blood sugar down for you. So you have things along like that. That's a good substitute for eating meat all the time, and fish. Okay, but don't fry it. Bake it. Okay, would be much better. Or any other way you want to cook your fish, grill it, so on and so forth.
Well, can I say frying across the board is probably not the most healthy way for eating anything,
yeah.
Right? I mean,
you see, frying became popular because it's the easiest and quickest way, to cook things. But the best way to cook them is not frying. Okay, go put them out there on the grill. Put anything out there on the grill. You can cook anything out there.
Roast it, grill it,
bake it,
anything. Yeah.
So you want to do things along those lines. So you have a lot of people say, well, does shellfish count as fish? Yes, it does. Okay. It's not as high in protein as a regular fish, like a fluke, a flounder, any type of fish that you like. Okay. But the shellfish, remember, is that you're going to be killing yourself with fats because you're going to stick that lobster in a big bowl of butter, because that melted butter tastes real good. Just dip it a little bit. Okay. I'm not saying
dip it, don't drown it.
All of the bad stuff away, just more of the good stuff.
Fair. It's reasonable, and I feel like people know this, but we all need a reminder now and then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And get your vegetables. Your vegetables are great for you. Okay. You can have more vegetables than just about anything else that you have. All right. Except remember that there's a couple of those vegetables and carbohydrates that are not that good for you. In Jersey, we're known for our corn. All right. And corn's a high carbohydrate. So remember, don't have potatoes with it, just have the corn. And you're going to kill it with the butter. That's what we do. A little bit less butter. You also have the potatoes that are carbohydrates, any type of potatoes. So be very careful with them. And the one that's a big secret is a high carbohydrate is peas. Peas are a carbohydrate, even though they were a vegetable. Most people do not know that. Right? So you got to remember, no two carbohydrates on your plate. Small amount of carbohydrates on your plate. We talked about the protein and carbohydrates. Now we want to talk about the fats, okay? Especially with our protein. Let's eat the pork chop. Okay, we baked pork chops, but what's on the end of that pork chop?
That little piece of fat there?
Yeah, on the end of it. Yep. Nope, cut it off. Get it out of there. You can't have that. Things along those lines. Try to get meat, for instance, when you go to the beef. All right? Get a London broil and put it on a grill. Much less fat content in that than rather having that porterhouse or ribeye and stuff, because that has a lot of marble fat and it has a lot of fat around the outside of it. So you have to be careful along those lines too.
Well, I'm thinking, because we're talking about eating healthy on a budget, and these days, beef is very, very pricey. So I'm thinking, if people are anything like me, we're eating a lot less beef. And it turns out, I think that's a good thing. That's not bad at all.
Exactly.
It turns out, I'll say for myself, you know what? I'm just angry at these prices, and I haven't bought beef in a long time. And guess what? Don't even miss it. Don't even miss it. There's so many other things to eat. And I'm definitely eating a lot more salad and veggies as well. Definitely.
It's very good for you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So talking about budget, let me give you a couple of tips about budget when you're eating, besides just the what we should be eating. First off, when you want to go shopping, you need to sit down and plan your menu for the week. I don't care what day you pick. All right. Sit down, plan your menu for the next 7 days. What you want to do is also find out what coupons are available. Use the coupons. Get creative with the coupons to creating different type of breakfast, lunch, or dinners. Doesn't matter. What you also want to do is that you may want to not ever go shopping when you're hungry. Because if you're hungry, all right, you're going to buy more than you normally would. And you go right off that shopping list.
Yeah. You're going to hit the snack aisle hard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're going to hit the snack aisle and you're going to go like, maybe just a little bit of this. And then the next aisle, maybe a little bit of this. Don't go hungry. Have a little snack before you go, a healthy snack, a little protein bar. Okay, that will curb your hunger, which is actually most of the time when you go shopping mental, not really physical hunger. So make sure you don't do that. Have that list of what you really want. Plan your menu, especially your dinners, because that's the big ones. What you also have to understand is that when you go into a store, the psychology of sales hits you soon as you walk in that store. If you ever notice, like you go in some of these big supermarkets, they got all these wonderful snacks outside as you're pushing your carriage in. And
that's right.
Potato chips, popcorn, pretzels, cookies, this, that, all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, get by that. Get into your store. Shop the outside aisles. That's where the healthiest food is. The dairy's on one side. Yes, the protein, the meat, the fish is in the back along that area. And then you have all your fruits and vegetables. And
that's outside. True. Yeah. If you think about
shop there first. Get all of those good, healthy things. You're in danger when you start going up and down the roads. Okay. Try to, and this is something that I have to throw my wife into this. When she goes to this one particular store, okay, in Middletown where we live, very, very large store, well-known store. Okay. She gets crazy because they keep changing the aisles. She likes to go in and just get what she wants and get out. She does it the right way. But what happens is that aisle 6 used to be the pasta. It's now aisle 4. And aisle 4 might be 3 and 2 and 1. what they were trying to do is they keep moving stuff and changing aisles because they don't want you to have the aisles memorized so you can go bang, bang, bang and get out. They want you to walk up and down those aisles because that will tend people to buy more than what they really need. But here's the other psychology of shopping. When you go to those aisles, so let's say we go to, we're going up the canned vegetable aisle. They have, now the average person is usually about 5'8" in the United States, okay, give or take a couple of inches. But what they do is they take the most expensive product, all right, and put it at eye level because that's where you look. You look straight ahead. So you push the cart, you look straight ahead. What do you see? All the big names and all the big prices. If you go down a little bit, okay, you're still going to have quality, except it's not the big label name, and it's going to be actually cheaper. So the psychology there is you're going to beat them. Don't necessarily have to reach out and get that big name product that's at the high level. You may want to look down. Try this. When you're going through there, say, okay, there's the big label for canned corn. All right. Okay, look down. There's another one. This is JoJo's corn. Just making a name up, okay? As compared to that big guy, I think it's called Giant, okay? I don't want to say hold it.
Is he
try that? Get a can and try it. And I bet you're going to see that it's very, very good. And you're going to save a lot of money by shopping like that. You don't always have to have the name brand. Now, if there's one name brand, which is you have to, it's like, this is the one you really, really want, you'll go ahead. But you want to, on that budget, you want to cut back as much as you possibly can because everything's so expensive. So their psychology up and down those aisles, besides changing them all around for you, is also in all those aisles, eye level, the most expensive. Not necessarily always the best either. So you have to experience with that. And you may want to pick a little bit lower. It doesn't have to be brand name. And go fresh. Get over to that outside aisle where you have all your fresh vegetables. Fresh is best. How about frozen is number 2?
Yes.
And then canned is number 3. Canned vegetables, fruits, anything like that that's canned, high in sodium. Okay. Fresh, excellent. Frozen, hey, frozen's good. They quick freeze that. It keeps all its protein and all its good parts in it. So you're not losing anything. A lot of people are like, oh, you freeze it, you lose everything and you lose the taste. No, you don't. It's still going to be good for you. So you always want to go fresh, frozen, or canned. And
you know, Vinny, I just want to mention something about the can, anything in the can. You definitely want to read the label to see if you are buying something canned, because you're right about there is typically a lot more sodium in anything in a can. And you want to read that label, make sure. But if you're buying something in a can, you might consider then rinsing it off before you eat it, because you drain all that liquid out, all that salty,
That's a good idea.
liquid.
That's a great tip.
Yeah. But when things are frozen, they are typically frozen at their peak of freshness. So, I mean, you're absolutely right. When you buy a frozen fruit or frozen veggies, it's almost like you're getting, it's the next best thing to fresh. I'm totally on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you get those fresh vegetables, when you go down the aisle and you get the fresh ones, you get to pick out as much as you want. And you also get it without any chemicals added to it.
Right.
And you take it home. Now, a lot of people don't want to do that too often, too much, because they feel that, well, if I buy all this on Monday, then by Friday, that cauliflower that I had may not be as good. If you store them properly and you know what to refrigerate and what not to refrigerate, okay, you won't have that problem. But again, remember, you're going to plan your meals. So plan your fresh vegetables, okay, according to how long you think you're going to have and how long you can keep them. A lot of people do a lot of different things too. Like, for instance, tomatoes are not supposed to be in the refrigerator.
That's right.
Tomatoes will stand up on their own and just turn them upside down. Put the stem part on the bottom, okay? This will keep all of the moisture that you want in that tomato and won't get all wrinkly and ugly looking, and it will still be very, very tasty. But if you do like them cold, well, put them in the refrigerator the day that you're going to use them, okay? And this way, you're not going to get that opposite negative effect from it. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
there's a whole lot of little things like that you have to learn and know. And you don't have to shuck the corn. Look at the color of the leaves on it. The darker the color of the leaf, the outside of it, okay, is the better ears of corn. If you get corn where that leaf color is not a dark green, but a light green, that means that came off the vine, probably vine or stalk. Came off the stalk a little too soon. It's not going to be as good as the one with the darker leaves.
All right. That's good to know. I didn't know that. That's good
Yep.
to know. Yeah. You know what, Vinny? Say something about prepared foods, because now in the supermarket, my God, they have such a tremendous assortment of already cooked foods, whether it's rotisserie chicken or pastas or fish. I mean, everything. It's all cooked and ready to go. Now, naturally, you're going to spend more money that way. But how do you feel about that as far as, budget wise and nutrition wise?
You're paying more because you're letting them do the cooking for you.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, number one. Number two, do you know what ingredients are being used? Do you know how long that chicken had set back in a butcher shop before they decided to make it a rotisserie chicken? They're not dumb. They're very, very smart business. Those chickens, as an example, those chickens that are out there that did not get purchased, they can only be out there X amount of time. What they do is let's a round number, and it's not the exact number, okay? Let's say the chickens are out there for 3 days. So on the second day, they're saying, well, these are not selling. Let's take them inside. Now they transform into rotisserie chickens. And then they do that, okay? So you're not getting that fresh meat or poultry that you really want when you're getting prepared for food. You don't know who's preparing. You don't know whose hands have been on it, okay? Most of the time, I'm sure they're sanitary, but you don't know that. And when they do that, they enhance what they think is enhancing the taste. And they put that extra barbecue sauce on there when they do the rotisserie, okay? And what happens there is that you're sucking in a lot of sugar on meat, which is supposed to be better for you because it's poultry. You might as well just throw fried chicken in, all right? Because you're destroying the whole idea of healthy chicken, turkey, anything along those lines.
Well,
and the other thing is that how long do they sit? Okay, in that little thing,
that's true.
And they might scoop into a plastic thing. How long have they been sitting here out in the open air? I stay away from it. I don't go near them. Fresh. Let's go fresh. Let's go real.
I mean, you're going to save a lot of money if you buy a whole chicken or chicken parts rather than, buying a rotisserie chicken. I think that things that are pre-cooked tend to be a lot saltier than a lot of other people. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So while you definitely, I understand about the convenience factor, but it's doing nothing for your budget. It's doing nothing for your body either. I feel like, we have to cook more. We have to take better care of ourselves. And part of doing that is, cooking your own food. What the ingredients are.
Yeah. You have to budget your time in order to do that.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. There's a lot to be said for people who do, food prep. Well, first of all, making a shopping list, planning out your menu, but then buying whatever you buy and doing some food prep so that you're kind of ready for the week, especially if you're a working person or, you have a family. Yep.
Let me give you one last big tip, okay? Because most of it, we're going to be talking to senior citizens mostly, correct?
Yeah.
Now, what happens is that everybody's gone, the kids are married, the grandkids, blah, 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 blah. So now you're cooking just maybe for two or maybe just one person, all right? A lot of times what happens is even if it's one or two that you're cooking for, what happens is that you'll get sales, but the quantity will be a lot more than what you need for one person.
Right.
If that's the situation, get a friend to go shopping with you. And what happens is that you're going to get, 6 ears of corn for $5. You're not eating 6 ears of corn, but if there's two of you shopping at the same time, you get the 6 ears of corn, then you divide them up. 3 for you, 3 for me at the one price. You start saving money when you do that. So whenever you can have a partner that can shop with you, and you want to get, and it's a good relationship, and you can get everything, and then just split the cost down in the
Yeah,
middle.
that's a good
And
idea.
the food.
Yeah.
And guess what? It saves you a lot of money doing it that way, and you don't waste food.
I think another thing people can do is, let's just say chicken is on sale or something is on sale. You know, of course, I'll buy more than I would normally buy, but I portion it out and I just label it and put it in my freezer.
Yeah, yep, that works too.
Yeah. So, but I love the idea of shopping with a friend and, you know, buying something in bulk and then sharing it, because you're saving money and, you know, that's a good idea.
Yep.
That is a very good idea. So listen, you can eat well, still save money. And I still think it all comes down to being a savvy shopper, right?
That's what it is.
Paying
You
attention.
can't let the big food stores use that psychology against you. You used it again.
No, don't let them win. Beat them every time. And you know, it's summertime here. There's a lot of farmers markets out there where you can buy all kinds of wonderful fruits and veggies at, you know, probably a reduced price. So
Absolutely.
I feel like you have to be a savvy shopper, read the label, because you can definitely eat well on a budget. Yeah. And buy food, store brands, definitely store brands.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because, well, you just said the average person is 5'8", and well, I'm apparently way below average at 5'1". But, you know, I know when I shop, you know, always staring at me on my eye level is the most expensive products of all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true, you got to either look up or look down to save money.
Sure.
I never really thought about that
Compare.
before. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very true.
Good.
All right. Well, you know, I know, Vinny, you're going to be doing kind of an expanded version at this at a future Lunch and Learn for us. So I definitely look forward to that.
Good.
And as always, we appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you. I always love to come in.
So remember out there, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr, and we'll see you next time on Scan FYI. Bye, everyone, and bye, Vinny.
Bye, and don't forget, Braven Health.